Baldwin. I mean, most of us have at least read one or two of his pieces of work. So I had not read Beale Street, and I kind of felt like, oh, maybe if I wasn't a college dropout, I might have made it there.
What about you, Kiki and Stephan?
Definitely was a fan, but this is my first time reading Beale Street too. I hadn't, that's one of his lesser known works, it seems to be, when I'm talking to people about it, so I was happy to be introduced to it. It's really beautiful, not just because we're in it.
Yeah, I hadn't read too much Baldwin. I'd seen, pieces of his work and stuff like that, but after reading the book and reading the script, it was a no-brainer for me to want to be a part of something like this.
Barry, take us through the casting process, because I know that is so key. So how did you decide who would play who?
Yeah, I tend to not have a face in my head when I'm writing a script, and I don't have an idea of who the actor is. When I first started casting, with Moonlight, we were fortunate that nobody knew who the hell we were, so we could cast whoever we wanted. And I tried to approach this the same way, which is who's going to reveal themselves as Fonny, who's going to reveal themselves as Tish. And we saw a lot of people, but there was something about, again, because this love is rooted so early in the characters' lives, you needed to have two people that, when you saw them on screen, they could be tender, they could have that nervous energy, but they also knew each other, because these two characters really know each other. And Stephan and Kiki, it just kept coming back to the two of them. And when we got together to screen test, it was great, because were you really in love? It's like, yeah, you get that puppy-eyed love, but you also test each other. And I saw that they could both be super in love, but they could also test each other the way real relationships often test the people within it.
I had to bully Barry into giving me this role.
Did you run up on her?
Nah, not really. But yeah, you fought for it, bro.
Well, I'm glad you fought. Tell me about the choice for Regina, which is a no-brainer, but I still want to hear your process.
I mean, I would summarize this choice in one anecdote. We showed this movie in Brooklyn at Court Street, and there's a moment late in the film where everybody's debating who's gonna go to Puerto Rico, to solve this thing. And of course, it's gotta be Mama. And we cut to this shot of Regina King getting off a plane, and everybody in the theater was like, oh shit, there she go. And I was like, yeah, that's why we cast Regina King. That's everybody Mama. She gonna get on the plane to go to Puerto Rico. Am I lying? Where's the lie?
No, I wasn't there for the screening, so I'm sure you're telling the truth. Sure, that's the way it went down, right? Okay. Here I am.
I mean,
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I'll be intellectual about it. We wanted the love to be pure and young, and we wanted Sharon to be able to look at Tish and Fonny and see herself in Joseph and that couple and that relationship. And Regina is a very mature woman, but she has this youthful vitality at the same time. So I think she could look at them and see what was potentially being lost. And in the way she sees it, you go, okay, she gets it at a visceral level. It's not intellectual, it's emotional. And Regina King was just someone who you just know she is going to be able to translate that in very few words. And that was why I made it.
I was just playing. You didn't have to say all that. The themes in this book, I mean, it's almost like a little bit of, it's definitely love, it's passion, there's the police, there's definitely Black Lives Matter right now. There's also the dirty laundry that gets aired, and the problems we have and the dynamics in our family. How is it making, particularly this scene here, because in the book, so much cussing goes on, but so many things needed to be said. What was that? Tell us about that a little bit more.
I mean, all that shit is in the film. Look, we didn't want to come here and show it as a preview because I'm not sure who's in the audience. We didn't check everybody's ideas that were coming in, so we had to keep it clean. But I think what you're talking about is, James Baldwin now, as we know him, is a very eloquent writer who goes on to Cabot and speaks very eloquently about social condition, all these things. But he's also raised in Harlem, and so he knows how people speak when folks are speaking amongst themselves. And we didn't shy away from that. in translating the book to screen. And so, yeah, people do have very frank conversations. I think the sad reality is this book was published in 1974, and those conversations are still relevant. You know, the system is still the system. And so we leaned in, and I felt so blessed to have the actors that we had, because we didn't have to change the language, because the language was current, and they really were able to finesse it and make it feel like something that we hear every time we sit down at our grandma or our auntie's house. We get around a table and just start talking.
Regina, what did you feel making that scene and reading those words in that moment, especially today?
The scene with the two families.
The two families come together to discuss.
I loved it because it's, you know, it's an example of just the differences within our own community. You know, we don't talk about those, or normally when we see ourselves in productions that are written by others, even other Black people, we seem to just kind of all be in the same category, the same, where they say we are not a monolith, you know. So I think that scene is a perfect example of why we are not. And I know with Barry early on, when I read the script and I read the book, I originally asked him, you know, how much of this language are we gonna keep the same, because it's a little jive, you know? And he was like, you got it? No, if any of it sounds funny, you know, we'll make some changes. I realized maybe I speak with a little more jive than I thought naturally, because some ad-libs came out that Barry kept in, that you guys didn't get to see, so.
Did you say it's gonna be lit in here? We're gonna make it lit?
No, not lit, but
Not quite.
not quite lit, but the same syllable, the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, stop, Barry. But no, I really appreciated being able to see us on screen and be different.
Yeah. Kiki, one part in the story, well, a major part of the story is the fact your character, you and your father have a beautiful relationship. He adores you, he does you and your sister. I even love how James Baldwin wrote how the sister, you had to learn later that your father loved you guys both equally. It's something you have to come into, but tell me, what was it like portraying a woman who, I don't know if you guys got this in the film, but you know, she's pregnant, that you came home and told your father, and your father opened you with open arms. Tell me about that scene.
It was just beautiful to be a part of the scene, and just ultimately a story where the family just comes around Tish like that and supports her like that, because I mean, she's only 19, finding out she's pregnant, and like she's pregnant, but the baby's father is in prison. So it's like so many things that she's dealing with and being that young. So to have a family, a father, a mother, a sister to lean on like that, I mean, that was such a beautiful thing to see, because we've seen this story so many times now when that doesn't happen, of what that looks like. So it's nice to see something of what it looks like when you do have that support and what that means.
And I also find, correct me if I'm wrong, Tish kind of comes into herself in that moment, because she stands up to the family, to the other family. What do you think about that?
I mean, she has to. Tish is growing up, you know, fast in this film, which, you know, being in those circumstances will do to you. But the family is supporting her in that and helping her in those moments where she can't quite stand up, like when she's starting to, like further in that scene, she's starting to stand up to Fonny's family, but then Ernestine, her sister, has to step in to take it, you know, that little bit further that Tish just isn't quite ready to do just yet. But you see, like, she's going to get there, and she has that heart in her to fight for what's important to her and fight for her man and fight for her child. Like, that's just the thing. It's kind of beautiful to see how that naturally changes, you know, what's going on internally and what she has to put out into the world now, because I mean, at some point she has to be able to look out for her child and her family the way that she's learned, you know, so beautifully from her parents.
Now, Stephan, this story also is about the love your character has for Tish, the pure love. You, like Barry mentioned, you've loved her since you were 5. What was it like being that vulnerable on screen?
I mean,
Or playing a vulnerable character like that?
yeah, I mean, thank God I had Kiki Layne to work with. She's been incredible this entire time and really made things very easy for me. But yeah, those beautiful nuances, you know, when I first read this book, it reminded me a lot of Romeo and Juliet. And you know, that love, I think, is still the centerpiece of this film. You know, Fonnie and Tish, you know, had known each other in a way, you know, most people, they don't really know each other. They were almost like brother and sister, so close. So you know, their love was past anything physical. You know, it was so deep. It was literally in their blood. You know, their family, the Rivers, adopted Fonnie essentially. You know, so Fonnie is very much a part of their family. So I think, you know, much more than a girlfriend or a fiance, this was Fonnie's best friend. They're best friends, and I think that was the main essence of what we tried to capture.
While working on this film for each of you, what was the biggest takeaway that you had, just being on set, being in this, you know, doing this project?
Yeah, for me it was just family, you know, and seeing like a very like positive, like wholesome, when I say whole black family. And where it clicked for me, it wasn't even during the scene. Michael Beach, who plays Fonnie's dad, who's amazing in the film, his birthday was while we were shooting. And I remember we stopped set one day and everybody just started singing Stevie Wonder Happy Birthday. And all the groups and crew were like, what the hell is going on? And we had basically become this family in the middle of the crew, just celebrated Mike. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the feeling that the audience needs to get from this film. It's the feeling that we have making it. And that was when it clicked for me.
For me, it was a lot of the same. I feel like I can't remember exactly what moment while we were shooting, and it was probably deeper on. But just the realization that we don't get to see stories like this in the theater or on TV. We really don't. These stories exist in our lives, but we don't get to see them, and that I get to be a part of it. And I look to my left and I look to my right, and my cast members are just killing it. Ingenue, Coleman Domingo, and that sense of family that we actually had on set, it plays out. And I really, really feel that people will see this movie and leave feeling good, even though those who are familiar with the story know what the outcome may be. You will leave feeling loved on a little bit.
You know what? It's funny you mention this because, like I said, I'm only halfway through, but reading it, I was like, they're letting us make this? I mean, because it's so beautiful. It's so, and all the things, I mean, I'll be honest, this is my first James Baldwin work I've actually ever read, and I was just like, wow, I know Ava DuVernay doesn't like to say we're having a moment, but I was like, wow. We've come a long way in the storytelling. But anyway, Stephan, what did you take away from?
Yeah, I mean, to echo what they were saying, I think love is the biggest takeaway for sure. You know, this film is sort of born in a tragedy. You know, it's a man who's been wrongfully accused of something he didn't do. You know, right when he gets his girlfriend pregnant, so they're expecting a child. And this, you know, it could be the worst time for something like this to happen. But I think that the film and this story is just really a testament to everything, you know, all the trials and tribulations, all the ups and the downs, you know, dragging through the mud, but that love is still there at the end of it all. And I think that that's probably the biggest takeaway of this film.